Hey y'all, this is Cyndee. I'm the Tireless Tangler. I want to welcome each of you back to my channel. Thank you so much for being with me today. We are going to be doing Inktober, and the Zentangle version of that has prompts. You can find those on Stephanie Jennifer's site or just Google it. And the first one for day one for October 1st is going to be Be Light. That is a Zentangle original pattern. And I'm going to step it out for you on this tile. We are going to do one tangle each day, but I may bring the tiles together. So as far as putting more than one day on a single tile. So today we're going to use Be Light to make a little frame for our tile. And then tomorrow we will put the focal point flame flower from Deb Boyer CZT in the middle of that. So what I'm doing is just auraing the edge of the tile. And then I'm going to do another aura on the inside of that and make a little framework for the squares that are Be Light, the framework for Be Light. So I have not drawn in more than a year, not seriously, and my shaking is quite bad. So I appreciate those of you who also tangle with trimmers in your hands. And I'm going to hope that by the end of October, maybe my strength and my muscle memory will be doing better, and perhaps my shaking will improve. So we're going to see. Okay, so now that I have my little outer and inner auras drawn, I'm going to just square up the corners. So do straight lines going each way, and that creates a little square in each corner. And then we will divide up the line from there for Be Light. Now, Be Light is frequently done in a grid format, but today I thought that would make the perfect little frame, since tomorrow we do have a tangle that is going to be a focal point. And by the way, Zentangle Patterns has this particular step out in it if you want to take a look, but it does not have the tangle for tomorrow, which is flame flower, and you can find that on Instagram with Deb Boyer CZT, and that's BOWYER CZT. And I can't remember what her little Instagram account is called, but you can just put that in the search engine and you will find her. And she's got that on her Instagram page. So now that I've gotten the corners squared off, I'm just going to round the inside edges of that. Just, I don't know, because I want to. Maybe mine were sloppy. And I do apologize for the hair that's going to be in and out of this. Tomorrow's video, I will clip it back so we don't have that issue for us. Well, at least for me, because it bugs me. All right, so at this point, I'm going to just square each of these little sections off. And the trick to this is having the right division at the end. And I tend to get a little bit of an overlong section at the end, but this side worked out all right. And so I'm going to repeat that on each side. So happy to have you guys with me. Zenders, we'll chat as we move on. As things get tedious and the boring stuff starts, then you guys hang out and I'll just catch you up on what's going on. I have missed you all. All right, 2 more sides. Simba says hi. Simba is my service dog, who's a Rottweiler. And then we have River, who is also doing beautifully. And we have little Tangle, the puppy, who is just now 2 years old. So he is still rotten. In every inch of his being, he is rotten. But he's lots of fun. He's got a singular personality, that one. So when you hear panting and shenanigans start, that's what's going on. The puppies are in the mix. All right, so we have everything divided into little quasi-squares here, and they don't have to be perfect. I think I'll just square the edge of this one off. Simba is going to play loudly with the puppy, so that's what that is. Hopefully they won't get too loud. So the way you draw bee light is just to pick the lower corner. You're going to put a little rounded sort of cone shape in there and fill it in. And then you just aura that in small lines as you go out to the corner. Now I'm leaving little blank spaces in mine. Hi, Tangle. I'm leaving little blank spaces in mine to make some sort of sparkly looking sections, and we'll zoom in here in just a minute. Sorry about the hair. It's going to continue to bug me. Well, I haven't done this in a while, so I guess the crazy hair is just, symptom. I'm having to find my camera angles all over again and figure out, how to set everything up. It's a learning curve. So, okay. So, as you can see, I'm just leaving a little gap in the top of that arched line, or the auras. And there's the little cone that you do in the corner. Just round that edge just a little bit. And I think they must have named these bee light. They remind me of little honeycomb sections. So I guess that's how I think of this, like little honeycomb type things. All right. So I'm just going to keep filling these little squares in. You can, of course, do as you will. You might want to change up the directions of your little cone. You can pick whatever corner you want, but I've decided to do mine all uniformly. And I'm just needing a safe space right now, I guess, to just draw without any expectations of perfection, without any worries about the outcome. I'm just going to draw and trust the process, as I have learned to do along with so many of you over the last few years. I appreciate you guys so very much, especially my Zenders who are always with me, and much love to you guys, much love. You are very much appreciated, and I know what a gift you are. I just want you to know that. So this is a fun one to shade when we get finished with all of the squares, and so we'll have a good time. So in the meantime, Zenders, let me catch you up with what's going on. Let's see. Mari is 14 now, with the mouth to go along with it. He still hates school, but he is doing very well. Now we can see it better. And so he is in the 8th grade. He is playing in the band and testing out marching band for high school next year, perhaps. I don't know if that's the kind of commitment that he wants to make, because that's a big, big commitment. But we'll see. I'm pleased enough with how he's doing, even though I have to stay really involved in the schooling, which is a little bit frustrating. But considering what that kid has been through and how far he's come, I'm pretty pleased with where he's at. He still just loves his screen time, but so many of the other kids his age are exactly like that. And I just try to put activities in his life that he's forced to do that gets him out of the house. So we will see if I can survive his teenage years. The puppies are all doing good. River has been such a good girl since we got her teeth fixed, and I want to thank you guys for that. Her temperament has chilled out a lot, even though she's still a hectic, crazy woman. She is a mess. She's just not so snappy as she used to be. So that's always good. Simba is getting old. We've had him, I guess, 7 years, and I guess Roddy's lifespans go to about 10 to 12 years, and so I need to keep him as safe and healthy as I can for the next few years so that he can be as long-lived as possible, because we will lose something special when we lose Simba. So I'm not thinking about that right now. I'm just looking forward to tomorrow. As far as I'm doing, I still am struggling with artist block, although I have started to want to explore in learning some watercolor techniques and things like that. I really want to play with color. I'm feeling the need to put color on things, and so we may get there. I wanted to start this month pretty slowly so I wouldn't have too much stress, and we'll see how the month progresses and what we do each time. And I appreciate the fact that you guys are here with me. So you want to make sure you get your little cones nice and dark and fill in all of your little stars in there. This pen isn't running so nicely as usual. The puppy was chewing on the end of it, and I found it next to the kitchen door, so that's never a good thing. And as you can see, I'm using a Micron PN today because of all the fill-ins with ink, and since it tends to have a larger nib size, the point size on it, then it works really well for things that need a lot of fill-ins and black ink or dark ink, whatever color you're using. This might be fun in a different color, so if you want to do that, go for it. The tangle for tomorrow is kind of flowery, and so as the name suggests, and so I've never done this before, and this one before, and as I looked through the list, there are a whole bunch of these tangles that I'm kind of excited to try out because there's a lot of them that I don't know, even the ones from Zentangle, because I've had my head somewhere that it didn't belong for the last few months, and so I haven't practiced all the new tangles or even looked them up. So you guys can help me get back in the swing of things. I will appreciate you so much. Physically, I have had some challenges lately. I have been on Ozempic, the drug for diabetes that causes so much weight loss, and in the outset of that, it has caused me to lose a lot of weight. I'm down to like 165 pounds now. And I started at like 330. So I wasn't that heavy when I knew you guys a few years ago. I was down in the 240s, but the fact that I've taken off another 80 pounds since then is just incredulous to me. I've never weighed this little in my life, and so the problem that I've had with that is the extra wrinkles and the flabby skin and the lack of a rear end and things like that. I feel like I look older even though I'm thinner, and I guess that is a symptom of the drug. And so I've cut my dose in half, and I'm still losing weight, and so we're trying to slow that down. I only feel the need to eat about once a day, and I'll drink a protein drink in the morning, and in the late afternoon I'll eat half a sandwich, and then at bedtime I'll just snack on something. And so that's pretty much that. I've also been struggling with my stomach, having uncontrolled spasms in my stomach, and that were leading me to have to go to the emergency room. And I've had all kinds of tests done, and nobody can really explain what's going on except for the stomach surgeries I've had. Has caused scar tissue to develop in my abdomen, and they feel like that may inflame some of the nerves there and cause these spasms. And their suggestion was for me to have the nerves ablated there like I do in my back, so that they don't send the signals or whatever is going on in there. Anyway, who knows? There's apparently a lot that goes into doing ablations in the abdomen, and it's going to be a slow process. I'm still looking for someone to repair my left hand, and so anyway, in conjunction with all of that, I've had some struggles with my balance and falling. And a couple of weeks back, I really whacked the back of my head hard and cut it open, and hurt my back. And so I've been doing MRIs and x-rays and all that kind of such to figure out exactly where I'm at physically, and been seeing my doctors regularly and all of that good stuff. So I'm trying to take care of myself. I feel a lot more fragile physically, than I used to. I don't know if that's the loss of muscle or what, and I'm not sure if there's much I can do about that. But I'm looking into it, and I want you guys to know that I'm doing everything I can to stay healthy, and I'm trying really hard to keep my spirits positive. And even though I haven't seen you guys for a while, I want you to know the reason that it's so hard for me to open up and be have people involved in what's going on with me, I guess, is a better way to describe that. Isn't because I don't think you guys love me, because I know you do. So many of you have been so kind to me over the years. It's because I feel the need to, I don't know, go in my cave and solve my problems like I'm a man or something, and then not come back out until I'm done, kind of a thing. And so I don't know exactly what that's about. I have been working on self-improvement and trying to keep all of that in mind, and trying to figure out, healthy ways of looking at problems. And so the shaking in my hands has been acutely bad lately, and so I'm going to be seeing a neurologist next month in October, or this month, I guess, in October, and around the middle of the month, and we'll see how the nerve damage on my left side is doing, and whether he thinks that has anything to do with balance issues and such like that. So one thing at a time, boys and girls, and we'll get me back together and get me working. I have to work. I wanted my members to know something, and that is YouTube changed their terms of service with all of us. And I didn't sign my paperwork soon enough, and they shut down my membership program and then turned it back on. But the problem with that was that it automatically kicked everybody out. So you can still sign up for the membership program, but I need you to understand that if you do that right now, it will just be to support me, because I don't know when and if I can provide you content, especially for members. And if you don't want to do that, I so totally understand. And what I will probably do is rework the membership program so that it has perks that I can actually give you guys. So I just wanted you to know how much I appreciate you guys for all of your support, and I have got to get back in the swing of things and get people watching videos again and start talking to people again and sort of get my mojo back. So all right, that's the basics of the story. Are you bored yet, Zenders? I know you're not. So I'm going to have to be taking my time as I draw. The shaking is really bad, and it's forcing me to really take my time and slow down in order to sort of control what's going on. Otherwise, I am walking away with the pen and doing weird stuff. So, all right. One other thing I want to share with you guys is that with so much conflict going on in the world today, I want us to start spreading hope and friendliness and compassion and understanding in trying to deal with people that have ideas and thoughts that are different from our own. It's not about hate. It's about learning and caring and being a human. So anyway, that's my thing. All right, so what I'm doing now is I'm just re-emphasizing the outer edges of this to give them a little bit more depth before I start shading. And so I'm just reinforcing that line, making it a little bit thicker, a little bit darker. Well, I can't wait to see what tomorrow will bring with Flame Flower. I have not drawn that before, but before tomorrow I will have. So we will go through it together like we always do. And hopefully our tile will turn out beautifully. Remember, don't prejudge your results. Trust the power of the system. Trust the Zentangle method. It will work, I promise. And even if you feel like you have made mistakes, I want you to remind yourself that in Zentangle, we don't believe there are mistakes. We believe that the things we do that are not what we intended, those are opportunities to do things in a different way. And so I want you to keep that in mind if you get disillusioned with your tile. And also, what I've learned from my wonderful teacher, Annie Oken, is that you don't give up on your tile until it's finished. And then so frequently it looks so much nicer than you ever intended or thought that it might. So I always intend that they look nice, but learning to believe in the process is a big thing. And I think if you can do that, you will see your art come up to the next level. Believe in the process, finish your tiles, shade them and blend them and put a little love into them. Take a little extra time, put a little care into it. Now, there are a couple of different ways you can shade beeline, of course, and the thing you want to remember, you could do it underneath the box, or you can do it like I'm doing it, like on the back end, on the side away from the cone. And so I've decided to do that, and I'm going to do that on that back side all the way down. And then when I get to the crossbars, I'm not going to do the outer edge of those. I'm going to do the outer edge of each of these little squares. So you can see that I'm shading the exact same spot on each of these little squares, or square-like entities. Because you know. So I'm just putting a little bit of graphite on these edges, and then I will get my tortillon out and we'll blend that out. And that will kind of pop things, make them look a little bit more 3D. Shading is good for this pattern. So, and of course, you may shade as you will. Make that your own choice. If you want to do the underneath, that is perfectly fine. You can do that, whatever you feel works for you. And that's the beautiful thing about the Zentangle method, is that your art is going to look different than my art, that's going to look different than someone else's art, and that is a beautiful thing. We celebrate the differences. We celebrate the creative ideas that individual people have. We celebrate the fact that they change the patterns up and make them their own and try new things. That is a beautiful thing. There are no wrongs in Zentangle. There's only creativity and flow and love and peace and quiet and just enjoyment. So that's where I want you guys to be taking deep breaths and relaxing those shoulders. I know as I was filming this, I had multiple times where my shoulders were up next to my ears and I was tense because I was trying to control my hands shaking and such. And so I'm having to remind myself that it's time to relax when we're drawing. And this pattern is a good one. It's not particularly thought-provoking. You don't have to think to keep up with it. And so that's always a good way to start. And I'm pretty pleased with how this turned out. What do you guys think? I am going to see all of you tomorrow, okay?